Praise the Lord. 2001, we received 2 cassette tapes as a gift. 99 received 2 cassette tapes as a gift from a person who was a member in the church we pastored then. I still remember one of the titles, Running with Vision. We played the cassettes from 99 till we started our ministry year 2000, year 2001. Those 2 cassettes was all we had. And then we were privileged to see a poster advertising a meeting Daddy was coming for in Calabar. So we traveled from Uyo, where we are, to Calabar, desiring an opportunity to meet with him. By the grace of God, that opportunity was granted, and we're able to meet with him. And straight away we let him know that we are urgently and desperately in need of a fatherly cover. He accepted to be a father and to cover our lives. 2001 November, we were privileged to be here for the first time. We were financially in a pit. We could only afford a night bus, the worst of its kind. It broke down on the way. We waited for them to repair it because we couldn't take any other one. And they told us, why don't we join another? We said no, that we are with them all the way. We arrived here the next morning, or about midday or thereabout, and we were able to afford a hotel that the conveniences had no door and just a wall. And we dropped our things. By the time we got here, the morning session was almost over. We sat at the back, and we had in our possession the only 10,000 naira we were able to put together. And
I remember you said you didn't want to take another bus because you would have to use the 10,000 naira, and nothing was to touch that.
Nothing was permitted to touch that money. Nothing. So after the meeting, we came to the altar and we knelt down here and dropped the seed. But since then, sometimes I look back and I tell myself, I don't know where I would be if God did not connect me. With my spiritual father. From 2001, we come here 3 times minimum every year to sit under grace. Our rent was a challenge, but as we speak now, properties are everywhere. Of course, we have no car, but we have given out at least 5 cars. The first thing that happened to us when we came was we needed correction. If we had continued with the level of ministry rascality that we had, we come from a territory where mentoring is very scarce. People don't understand submission. People don't understand fatherhood. But sitting under the word of God, the principles, the pattern, what we observe, learning that it is not in looking for people, it's in waiting on God. People will look for you. We have learned that there's a difference between noise and substance. We have discovered that fatherhood is not for fun. Until you are pruned, you cannot be profitable. I still remember what I thought then was a breakthrough: international travel. Somebody made certain offers that could have veered us off completely. I met my spiritual father and he asked me just one question. He said, would you like this story to be told about how you were able to travel? I said no. And that was the end of that journey. It looked painful then, but I did not argue. Presently, there is nowhere we cannot fly our family to. We have seen the church go from about 150 in 2001 to over 7,000 members. Running one church was a struggle. Now we run over 16 branches as if it is nothing. I remember a land we tried to buy many years back, and for more than 2 years we couldn't put the money together to buy the land. It's sitting under the word of God, learning covenant practices, realizing that it can be easy to pay the tithe, realizing that prophet's offering is for your own good, realizing that your father does not need what you have, you need what he has. We tried to put the money together for 3 years, we couldn't. But between then and now, the things that we have seen God do, we have built buildings under 1 year. We have pulled down a 4,000 seat auditorium and replaced it with an almost 10,000 seat auditorium in 1 year. Our life is a product of the speakings of a father. I told my wife, I don't need to pray about what my spiritual father says to me. My prayer is not important. It is not a suggestion. It's an instruction. God has used his words to curtail excesses in my life. God has used his word to disconnect me from wrong friends. God has used his word to teach me how to focus on my work. And the things that we could have been looking for, running around, look for us and we are not interested.
Oh, yes.
We have seen miracles. We have seen the hand of God reproduce grace. We have seen God show us that marriage can work. We've seen God let the people under us see what it means to submit to a father. And they have learned to submit to us. Several times, God has used one word from my father to rescue and intervene in our lives. I remember when I suffered what could have been called a tragedy. I was kidnapped. My father received the information. I don't know who he told, but I understand that the governor of my state said to somebody, who is this man of God like this that everybody in the country is calling me? I don't know. But he arrived on a Tuesday night and made pronouncements that his son must be released. And by Wednesday morning, I was released. I want to say to everyone that is here, submission to a father, genuinely. When we come, we don't care where we sit. It's not important. I've never desired to hold the microphone. It's not important. I discovered that I benefit more sitting down than looking for what to do. In case you have been wondering if submission is beneficial, if I ask you where I was seated 2001, you won't know. But right now we are known all over the world because fatherhood has announced us. Fatherhood has lifted us. Fatherhood has projected us. Fatherhood has promoted us. When he speaks and prays over us over the phone, I go to the church the next day and I tell them, this is what my father prayed over me, and I'm going to pray the same over you. The whole church get on their knees to receive a passed on impartation. I want to thank God that he gave me a father. I want to thank God that we did not miss our way. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom.
Let's stand on our feet. Lift your hands, people. I pray for everyone here today. Last morning, following night bus broke down, but he couldn't take another transportation because there was no other money apart from the 10,000 that was reserved to be laid on the altar, which must not be touched. What a faithful rewarder. What a faithful rewarder, who watches our lives and watches our faithfulness and rewards us accordingly. What a faithful rewarder. Adonai will love you. And I prophesy upon you, you have seen nothing yet. You have sown the seed of unusual followership. Unbroken years. You have seen nothing yet. This conference becomes a conference that shifts your life, ministry to another level. Now, as many as are here today, trust in God. Lord, I've heard the story of this man. Can you give me such a story? I told him recently, I said they have to buy the whole street, because at the rate they are going on that street, they will soon buy all of it up, from one end of the street to another. I prophesy upon everyone here today, the fruit, the harvest of followership, you must see it. Lift your hands. freshness of speed, freshness of impact, freshness of grace. Freshness of fire. Jagabagayagadash. 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 Freshness.